Hello, everyone. And I'm so excited to introduce my guest today, um, hypnotherapist, Reiki master, singer, and songwriter, Jourdan Rystrom. Hi, Jourdan. Have I
Huh?
pronounced your last name right?
Yes,
Rystrom?
Jourdan Rystrom. You got it.
Great. So I guess my first question is, you're so many things. You're so gifted. What do you see yourself as a songwriter and a singer, or more as a healer?
That's a question that I get a lot. And I always say, I mean, I was born to just create. And I really feel that all of us are not born to just do one thing, And so I kind of think of myself, instead of just saying I'm a singer or I'm a healer, I integrate everything that I do together. And I know that if you can imagine ourselves as like a diamond or a prism, right? It's like we're this prism of light. And so just imagine that every single facet is something that we're good at, right? Every single facet is a talent or a gift or a skill set that we have. And so all of them, when put together, shines your greatest magnificence. So one day I'm a healer, and I've got 6 clients on the schedule. The next day I'm performing a show out in Nashville on Broadway. And then, the next day I'm writing copy for someone's website. And then the next day I'm teaching voice lessons. So it's like, every day is a new day. And I really enjoy that. I'm a Gemini, so I like things all over
Oh,
the place.
oh, interesting you mention it because my son is Gemini, and his wife just told me that he does everything like hundreds of things together and plus thinking a lot.
Yes. So
Analyzing.
so you know what I mean then, because like
Yeah,
we're
absolutely.
very fast paced, and I'm a very fast thinker, a fast reader. It's funny. Igor, my boyfriend, he is amazed at how I can look at a page of paper and just read it in a second. He's like, how do you think so fast? I'm like, I don't know. How do you not? That's just how I was made. And so I know that I think faster than most people, and I can process and comprehend him, which is why I think I do so many things, because it keeps me on my toes.
That's wonderful. That's amazing. So you think from your reading about you, I understand that the gift of to the music was in your life all your life from
Yes.
from the time you were born.
Yes. Yeah, I grew up singing music with my father in a small town of Hugo, Minnesota. That's where I grew up. That's about 25 minutes north of like St. Paul, Minneapolis, the Twin Cities area. And yeah, my dad was a singer-songwriter, and I grew up with music. I grew up with him playing guitar all the time. And just naturally, I think it's one of those abilities that can kind of be passed on by osmosis, especially being next to my dad every day and singing with him and learning harmonies. It's just ingrained in my DNA.
So music helps in the healing in your healing career
Oh,
as a
100%.
healer.
Yeah.
What was the first modality you actually learned after you realized that you have this another gift except being a musician and songwriter?
Totally, totally. I think that I've always been a listener and like a coach in terms of like holding a safe space for people to be listened to and to be held and to be understood. That's one thing that a lot of people say about me when they work with me. Before we even get into the actual like healing part of the session, just the talking, a lot of clients are like, wow, I feel healed already. I feel like you really hear me, and I feel like this is a safe space for me to open up. And so I do think that even as a child, I've always had those empathic qualities about me, where I can just hold space for you. And then there's healing just in that, because a lot of people just want to be heard. And so I think that was like the first thing that I've been cultivating throughout my life, other than music. And then after getting sober in November 1st, 2015, that's when my real like healing career began, where I started studying in schools of thought in terms of, I actually got my Reiki degree first. That was like instantly after I got sober. I actually have a Archangel Michael, who I'm sure you're familiar with. He's the angel that I actually communicate with directly. And so he's my ascended master, and he kind of teaches me and like guides me on where to go. And so he told me, he's like, Reiki first, get your Reiki degree first so that you can, there you go. Oh my gosh. Archangel Mike.
Yeah. He is with us. Yes. Oh, camera is, yes.
Yeah. He's always
He's here.
with us. And
He's here.
Beautiful, vibrant, indigo, purple, blue light. Yeah. And so he's always shows up in my meditations and my sessions with my clients too. So anyway, he kind of, after I got sober, he was like, congratulations, here's the cash and prizes in terms of like energetic up leveling, and kind of like you had to use your own free will, and you had to choose to get sober on your own without, any intervention. And then when I did that, that's when I was now led into all of these healing modalities. And so it was crazy. So it was Reiki. And so I got Reiki certified level 1, level 2, level 3, and then the master teacher level. So now I actually teach Reiki certification classes. And then after that, I was getting my crystal healing certification at the same time. So they were kind of linear. And then, so Reiki and crystal healing were my first certifications. And then I began my energy healing business right away. And I started working with clients, and I realized that I really had a knack for this and a real gift to bring palpable energetic healing into the world for my clients. That like palpable as in like they felt the energy, they felt the shifts, on the table as it was happening. And that's something that I still love to do to this day. I love doing a Reiki session for a client because it's just so relaxing, not only for them, but also for me. And after the Reiki was done, then I'm trying to think. I have a lot of certifications, and too many probably. There was a point where Archangel Michael's like, you're done. Okay, stop now. It's time to integrate and actually, teach what you've learned. But I think after that is when I got into hypnosis, which was 2.5 years ago. And I was guided to study hypnotherapy with Grace Smith. She is the master. She's a celebrity hypnotherapist, the author of Close Your Eyes, Get Free. She's amazing. So if you don't know her, please look her up. She's awesome. She's been on like The Doctors and a lot of big shows. And her mission is to make hypnosis mainstream, which is also my mission, because this is such a magical, simple, safe healing modality that is so natural. And it allows us to open up to our greatest capacity by healing things in the subconscious mind and healing any blocks that are holding us back from our greatest success. So I got guided to purchase her program, which is not cheap. And, because it's filled with it's 2 years of schooling and great information. So I remember pushing the button. Like, I literally was like asking, I was like, Archangel Michael, are you sure you want me to purchase this? This is the biggest investment I've ever made, other than going to Berklee College of Music, music school. I was like, this is the biggest continued education purchase I've ever made. And I was like, are you sure you want me to buy this? She's like, yes. Disappointed. And so I did it. And I was like, wow, all right. I just invested in myself. And it, Rita, it has paid back 10, 20, hundreds fold, because I have a thriving client base. And I'm just so grateful to do the work that I do now, helping to people close their eyes, get free, and transform the subconscious mind for true freedom, joy, power, and confidence.
Do you incorporate music into your healing work?
I do.
Does it work together?
Yes, I do. So when I was at Berklee in Boston studying music, I dabbled first in music therapy. So I was in the music therapy major first until I transferred to doing songwriting and vocal performance. But in the music therapy major, I learned so much about music as healing, because music is energy. Music is vibration. Absolutely. This is scientifically proven, Yeah. So nobody, not even this, atheist engineer, the person farthest from spirituality, can disprove that music is healing in terms of the vibration, and in terms of in hospitals, it's proven that when you bring music and, music from the 60s or the Beatles, when you bring it to a nursing home, it can awaken up the neurological systems of the people that have dementia and Alzheimer's. This is all scientifically proven. And so music is so healing, and I actually do integrate it into most of my sessions, whether it's me singing or playing a crystal bowl or playing a tuning fork, or some sort of combination of those.
That sounds amazing. You mentioned that that's the best thing when you're working with client is having this space and really listen to the person who is in front of you. And I really can relate, because as a health coach, that's the best thing ever, when you can listen and persons start to open up in front of you, and they realize that something really happened right there, because
Exactly.
it's not easy to start talking. I wanted to actually try to get on live on Instagram, so
Do that.
yeah.
And you do that now?
So yeah, no, not yet. I'm trying to get there,
Okay.
and I'm almost. So tell me more about your music career. You recently um, created a single, and it was very important song for you.
Yes. Last year, I released my kind of what I would call my musical comeback since being in recovery. And that song was called Dead Sober. And it's super powerful. Are we on live?
Almost, yes.
Okay.
We're getting there. Yes.
Cool. So Dead Sober it's out now on all the platforms. So anyone who's listening can check it out. Dead Sober by Jourdan Rystrom. And it's a song of empowerment. It's a song of freedom. It's a song of reclaiming the power that you might have once lost in terms of struggling with addiction or self-sabotage. And so this song is near and dear to my heart because it was written about my direct experience in getting sober. And back in 2015, at the time, I had a boyfriend who was also, trying to get sober, and he just couldn't. He just wasn't ready, and so he actually relapsed. And in the moment of him relapsing back into his addiction, I wrote this song. So it was literally the moment where I had to choose to be sober for myself and not for him and not for anyone else, but to stay sober through everything and to feel everything and to feel the breakup and to feel the pain and to feel all of that without numbing. And that's a powerful message, because whether you have an addiction to, alcohol, drugs, weed, or shopping, negative thoughts, right? Or there's so many addictions, right? Everyone has something that they struggle with, and everyone also has their numbing agents that they go to. And so this song is about standing strong in all of that, no matter what. And there's been some great feedback that I've gotten from the song, and I'm really blessed to have released it. And now I've got new music coming out too that is just so exciting, and I can't wait to share with you.
So, what really is your expertise when you're working with the clients as a hypnotherapist? Do you concentrate on addictions, and what kind of addictions?
Interesting question. Yeah. So I would say my expertise first and foremost is I consider myself a spiritual hypnotherapist. So I do tend to attract clients who are either spiritual or open to learning about spirituality, just because of how I show up, how I dress, how I present myself online, and the message that I convey. Usually it's people that are like, oh, I'm interested in this. Like, what's this whole thing about angels? Like, I'm open to prayers. I might not like the word God, but I like the word source or universe. And like, I'm open to trying this stuff out. So with the umbrella of spiritual hypnotherapist, I would say it's funny you say addictions, because in terms of addiction, I actually work with a lot of smoking clients. First and foremost, I have a smoking cessation program. And in 3 hours, they stop smoking completely, and it comes with a lifetime guarantee. So these are smokers who smoke for 20, 30 plus years and can get free of that completely. I do a neurological tapping, deprogramming system so that the addiction actually leaves the body and the mind. And then we do the hypnosis at the end. So it's really magical and freeing, and it's a lifetime guarantee. So I stand behind my work. I'm super confident in what I do. And that means that if anyone ever smokes again, they come back to me for free. And so they have that lifetime support. So smoking, in terms of addiction, I've also worked with a lot of clients who want to stop drinking, who want to stop binge eating, or like a lot of eating disorders. I'll work with people or eating disorder / weight loss, depending on what they're wanting to achieve. And then
you read my mind. I was going to ask about those, like sugar addictions. Those addictions also.
Oh yeah, sugar addiction completely. Yeah, it's similar. Sugar addiction is similar to smoking because it stays in the body. And so we do that tapping protocol for the sugar too, which is really, really, like, it's crazy how fast it works. That's why the sessions are only 3 hours, and it's 95% success rate in the first session. And then the other people, the other 5%, will come back for a second session if they need a follow-up. But it's really cool because we literally tap it out of the body and get, the meridians opened so that it energetically comes up and out. So that's great. And then, so smoking. And then I also, because I am under the spiritual hypnotherapy umbrella, I also specialize in past life regressions and life between lives sessions, which is like, it's my passion. I love it. I love helping people achieve, realizing their life purpose, their overarching soul purpose, literally like stepping into the spirit world and meeting their ancestors and, the archangels, and receiving all the messages and the downloads and the information that they need to move forward confidently in this life, and then heal anything that might have been from the past that isn't serving them in this life. So that's fun. That's a 4-hour journey. That is really exciting. And then other than that, smoking, past life regression, and then I would say my other specialty is like confidence work. So confidence, joy, and abundance, because those are all aligned. If you're confident, you're joyful, you're most likely abundant. And if you're not, there's something missing. And then I really will help you work with reconnecting with your spiritual self and figuring out whatever you need. And then we can just go from there and heal things one by one.
Wow, that's amazing. One more addiction come to my mind. I mean, maybe you're not considering this addiction, but just tell me, like computer games. Can we consider this as addiction?
I would say so. Yeah. I mean, anything that you're doing compulsively that isn't serving you anymore is kind of considered an addiction in my book. So like I said, shopping could be an addiction, gambling, just negative thinking, in video games for sure. Anything that we go to that just really isn't serving us anymore, but we feel like we need to do it, or it's numbing us out in some way. We're basically, the subconscious is tricking itself into thinking that that's safe, that's helping them, when really we just kind of have to reverse the process.
For example, should the client that comes to you really believe in the hypnotherapy, or it's not necessary? Like, for example, like mother or wife wants to bring the son or the husband, and those guys are just whatever.
Yeah, we're like, hey Jourdan, I got some people for you after this. So yes and no to that question. The person, if they're willing to do it, they don't have to believe that it works, because once we work together, I actually go through an entire pre-talk where I talk about what hypnosis is, what it isn't, how it's going to help them, how it's a completely natural state of mind. And then we're just going into a different brainwave, which is the theta brainwave state, which is deep meditation. And so I go over all of that with them if they're willing and if they want to stop. But if you're like, hey, here's my son, I paid for him, help him stop, but he doesn't want to stop and he's not willing to do the work, then I can't help him, because it has to be the free will choice of the person. But I've had many a client come in, especially for smoking, where they're like, I don't necessarily like, let's see how this works, Jourdan. Like, here's my money.
Just out of curiosity, right?
I'm curious and I do really want to stop, but like, I kind of don't believe in this.
Mm.
Those are the ones that stop and then they never come back and then they write me a great testimonial, which you can see on my website. So,
Wow.
but they're willing and they chose to come in. So that's really the, the aspect that we need for someone to get success.
Have you ever worked with couples?
Yes. I've actually worked with an entire family. I had my first family last week that came in to stop smoking altogether, 4 of them. So that was really amazing.
Mm.
But yeah, I do couples work all the time.
Sometimes one spouse trusts and believe in something, and another one is just skeptical about things. I had a couple like this going into Brazil to the spiritual hospital, and husband would, for example, bring the wife or vice versa, and the sick one in the family really just go there, but the opposite spouse would just so get involved in this that is doing more like meditation and stuff that necessary than the person who really needs it, who is the sick one.
Yeah, and
those things.
Totally. And the other thing I recommend when it's like, usually like the wife will come to me and she'll be like, oh, my husband this, my husband that, can you help him? And I'm like, we can help you first. Let's help you first. And like, because I can't help anyone else unless they want to be helped. However, if you are in a partnership that is energetically close, like, you know, husband, wife, or what other kind of partnership like that, if they come to me, the wife, for example, and she's doing the healing work and we do like 12 sessions, sometimes, and most of the time, it heals the husband too, because her frequency is rising. And then again, by osmosis, by being close to each other, they witness her transformation and kind of level up as well, just without even knowing. It's all subconscious. And sometimes I've even had the husband come to me after the wife's had about 6 sessions because they're like, something's changed in her. What did you do? You know, I'm like, I didn't do anything, but now you're willing. So let's see what we can do here.
Exactly. We cannot change another person. It's just the changes that we can show on ourselves that may help another person. Yeah. That's really wonderful. So tell me more about your work as a sound healer. You use the crystal balls and other instruments. How do you work with the
I'll show you. Yeah, I'll show you. I use a crystal ball. So this guy right here.
Wow.
Do you have these at your studio?
We have a Tibetan ball that we brought from India. We have one, but yeah, we sometimes invite people who are doing crystal balls, and gong washes are so powerful and amazing.
Totally.
Yeah.
And so, sound healing, again, because of the vibration and because the energy that the vibrations give off, it is instantly healing for the physical body. First and foremost, you know, sound healing is the quickest way for someone to feel a physical healing effect that may not be open to this stuff again. So it's like, bring the guy who never wants to dive into this stuff to a sound bath with the gongs and the bowls, and they will feel it. They might not know what happened, but they'll be like, wow, I feel it, because the physical body actually pushes up. You know, the sound waves push up against the physical body, and that vibration is felt because we're at different frequencies. And that alone is healing. And a lot of people, if it's their first time, they almost feel overwhelmed because of all of the sound vibrations. And, you know, it's just the body just keeps drinking it in, and it's healing because it's bringing our bodily resonance to a higher frequency. That's literally what's happening, because our human body is at a lower resonance or a lower density than the sound healing, which is more of an angelic frequency, especially when you sing with it. That's when the human, you know, creation, right? The source creation through the human voice and the sound comes together. And that's really my specialty in terms of the singing with the bowls. And the cool part is you can do it through computer too. Most of my sessions are actually done through Zoom. And as long as you're touching the computer, you can actually still hear the vibrations and feel the vibrations and receive the healing benefits.
Well, that sounds amazing. Stuff that done online is basically work the same because
Yeah.
energy goes through anything, and
Yeah.
it
And then
doesn't really matter how far away you are. Yeah,
exactly.
the fork, the
And then the
tuning fork.
tuning forks, I really love doing this with my in-person client Reiki sessions. This is the 528 hertz, like the frequency of unconditional love. It's so powerful. So I'll do that, on all the chakras. And I've got a bunch of different tuning forks tuned to different frequencies. And I just kind of use my intuition with what the client needs. But, I don't know if you can hear that through,
Mm-hmm.
but it's super powerful, especially when you hold it towards your heart. Um, mm. And it's again, you don't necessarily have to know what's going on, but you experience the feeling, you experience the vibration. And it's cool because I just went to the Science Center here in Nashville, and their new exhibit is all about the energy of sound and the vibration of sound. So that was pretty cool. I was taking photos and I'm like, oh, I got to put this on my website, because it's science. It really is.
Yeah, and I really like to get deeper into the workshop that we're gonna hold very soon. So I like guys to tune in for the future workshop,
Yeah.
which gonna happen in the end of September. So what you gonna offer?
Yes. Yes, I'm really excited to offer all things sound healing. We'll do a group hypnosis session. I'll give some like tangible tips and tricks on stepping more into your confidence and power, some energetic protection techniques, just a bunch of stuff that normally you have to be one of my private clients to receive.
Yeah, the way you're saying, I love the way you're saying about your Reiki session. It's cosmic Reiki sound healing session.
Mhm.
Plus,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
singing live.
Yes, singing live, and then activating the Reiki too. So it'll be not only a healing session, but you'll also walk away inspired and perhaps wanting to be more creative in your life. Whether you write music or write poetry or just journal, it'll inspire creativity and joy and healing.
That's all sound wonderful. Thank you, Jordan, very much for joining me and opening
Yeah.
yourself to our listeners and talking about all this excitement, sound healing. That's really excite me because vibrations and everything. It's everything to us.
It is. It is. And I
Oh,
feel like music is the easiest way to kind of enter into that realm and explore and be curious and just really feel all the magic that is available to us.
great. Sounds good. Thank you very much. Thanks again, and
Yeah.
we'll meet again soon.
Thank you so much for having me.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Well, well. It was one or two person, um, in here, but quite a few was watching on Instagram. Instagram is a good tool
Yeah, it
to
is.
go
It says
live.
it's still live. Does that mean it's live still or is it off?